Hey everyone, hello. So today, we're diving into one of the most controversial and misunderstood phrases in modern esotericism. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. For some, it sounds like chaos, and for others, it sounds like ego worship. And for critics, it often is reduced to do whatever you want. But the truth is far deeper. This phrase is a central tenet of Aleister Crowley's spiritual philosophy known as Thelema, a system he formally inaugurated in 1904 after receiving a channeled text called the Book of the Law. And I've done a video both on Thelema and on Crowley, so I will be sure to add them in the description box. And contrary to popular belief, it does not mean indulgence, moral anarchy, or hedonism. It means something much more demanding. It means discovering your true will and living it without deviation. The word wilt is not casual. It does not mean what you feel like doing, what gives you pleasure, what your ego wants, or what society pressures you into. In this context, wilt refers to a deeply ordained divine purpose, your true will. Crowley described true will as your unique cosmic function in the universe. It's not random, it's not reactive, and it's not emotional impulse. It's your essential trajectory, like a star following its orbit. Crowley often used astronomical metaphors. He wrote that every individual is like a star in the cosmos. When each star follows its own orbit, there is harmony. But when the star deviates, collision and chaos occur. So, true will is not selfish desire, it is alignment. The famous phrase comes from the Book of the Law. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. This second line is often ignored, but it's crucial. Without it, people assume the first line promotes recklessness. But Crowley insisted that the law is not license, it is discipline, it is responsibility, it is alignment. Love under will adds structure to the law. It means love must serve the true will, not the other way around. One of the biggest misconceptions is that Thelema promotes indulgence. Critics often label Crowley as immoral, decadent, or anarchic. But in reality, discovering true will requires ruthless self-examination, elimination of ego-driven impulses, mastery over desire, freedom from social programming, and freedom from fear. Crowley actually condemned what he called the lust of result. This means obsessing over outcomes instead of focusing on alignment. True will is not about chasing pleasure, it is about removing interference. Hedonism says, do what feels good. Thelema says, do what you are cosmically designed to do, even if it's difficult. Sometimes true will demands sacrifice. Sometimes it demands solitude. Sometimes it demands standing against culture. This is not indulgence, this is discipline. So, how do you know your true will? Well, Crowley taught that it cannot be handed to you. It must be discovered through self-knowledge, meditation, magical practice, psychological integration, and direct spiritual experience. He believed that the individual must move beyond conditioned morality, religious guilt, fear-based obedience, and social conformity. True will is not rebellion for rebellion's sake. It is not contrarianism. It is not ego asserting dominance. It is discovering what you are when everything false is stripped away. In many ways, this anticipates modern ideas of self-actualization, similar to what later psychologists like Abraham Maslow would describe as fulfilling one's highest potential. But Thelema adds a mystical dimension. Your true will is not just psychological, it's cosmic. When Crowley says love is the law, love under will, he uses the concept of agape, a Greek term meaning divine universal love, not romance, not attachment, not dependency. Agape refers to unity, the recognition that all things are expressions of the same underlying reality. So, love under will means your actions should express unity, but in alignment with your true will. Love is not weakness, it is cohesion. It prevents true will from becoming narcissism. Because if your will harms the natural harmony of existence, it isn't your true will, it's ego. One of the most radical aspects of Thelema is that there is no external moral authority over your true will. No church, no state, no tradition, no dogma. This is why it scares people, because it removes excuses. You cannot blame society, religion, parents, or culture. If you are not aligned, the responsibility is yours. Thelema is not about freedom from consequences. It is about freedom from illusion. But that freedom demands radical honesty, self-discipline, courage, and continuous self-refinement. Do what thou wilt is not casual. It is a lifelong spiritual ordeal. Crowley's reputation, amplified by tabloids and moral panic, often overshadow his philosophy. He was called the wickedest man in the world, a Satanist, a corrupter of youth. But Thelema is not Satanism. It does not worship evil. It does not advocate harm. It advocates self-mastery. Crowley even wrote, "Every man and every woman is a star," meaning each individual has intrinsic value and purpose. The tragedy is that people never discovered it. In modern society, we are constantly pulled away from alignment. Social media validation, consumerism, fear-based news cycles, cultural expectations, and survival programming. Most people operate from reaction, not will. Thelema challenges that. It asks, what are you beneath the conditioning? What would you do if fear was removed? What remains when ego dissolves? True will is not loud. It is steady. It is consistent. It feels like inevitability, not impulse. If someone wanted to explore this philosophy without diving into ceremonial magic, They could begin by asking, what activities make me feel aligned rather than stimulated? Where do I experience friction because I am living against myself? What patterns keep repeating when I ignore my inner voice? And what would I pursue if external approval were irrelevant? Crowley advised, act in accordance with your will without attachment to results. This is similar to certain Eastern philosophies, particularly ideas found in the Bhagavad Gita. I've done videos on the Bhagavad Gita also, so I'll include that as well in the description box. But this is where the action without attachment is central. But again, Thelema frames this as cosmic alignment, not merely detachment. So, what does do what thou wilt really mean? It means discovering who you are beyond illusion. Strip away fear, strip away conditioning, strip away ego, find your orbit and follow it without deviation, not recklessly, not selfishly, but precisely. Because when every star follows its own path, the universe remains in harmony. And when you follow your true will, there is no friction, there is flow, there is purpose, there is inevitability. So, if you enjoyed this breakdown, share this video with someone who has misunderstood Thelema or who is searching for alignment in their own life. Until next time, love is the law, love under will.